This year, I decided to steer clear of all the family Christmas festivities. I love my family, don't get me wrong, but being with them on their turf is challenging. There's my mom, fussing to make everything proper so no one thinks she's a bad host or raised her kids poorly. My dad, who couldn't care less. My aunt, ready to take a jab at me and remind my mom that I'm a failure, even though her own kids are worse. And of course, my older brother, the perfect one with the ideal job, wife, kids, and life. I genuinely love him, don't get me wrong, but being around him is tough. Honestly, facing another episode of being the perpetual underachiever next to Mr. Perfect isn't my idea of a jolly Christmas. So I concocted this story about a trip to Miami, just lied that my boss threw me a bone with some extra days off. Yeah, I know how it looks, but I just wanted to spend one Christmas in peace. I stocked up on food, tightly drew the curtains, and settled into my apartment with no intention of leaving for a couple of days. The plan was simple: grab pizza and beer, lounge on the couch in front of the TV with breaks to scroll through TikTok. Come Christmas Eve, there I was, savoring a slice of pepperoni and mushroom pizza, the TV quietly playing some movie. But let's be honest, I wasn't paying it much attention. I was just enjoying my time. Nowhere to rush, nothing owed to anyone. It felt so cool that I wondered why I hadn't thought of it before. And then it happened. The doorknob suddenly started turning very slowly. I won't say I was terrified. Maybe someone got the wrong apartment. But the thought that it might be my family, somehow discovering my lie, made me tense. I felt a mix of fear and nausea. I decided it was better to open it myself. I could always spin a tale about my vacation plans falling through and say it was too late to go to my parents. So I stayed home. I approached the door and quickly opened it, as much as the chain allowed. I expected to see relatives or a tipsy couple, anything really, but definitely not an empty, quiet hallway. I removed the chain, peeked onto the corridor, and looked around. But it was silent and empty, with sounds only coming from the neighbor's apartment. I thought it might be a prank or someone attempting to break into my place, but ran away upon hearing me. I returned to the apartment, locked the door, checked the chain, and sat back on the couch. However, the feeling of carefree relaxation had disappeared. It was really strange. Who could have wanted to try to enter my apartment? I tried to refocus on the pizza and forget this episode, but all the good mood had vanished. After an hour and a half, I decided that was enough, and it was time to go to sleep anyway, with no good mood to savor. I went to the bathroom, brushed my teeth, and went to bed. Sleep was elusive. Through the wall, I could hear the neighbors celebrating. After a while, everything fell silent, and only the wind outside could be heard. And then, as the silence became even heavier, I heard the movement of the doorknob again. My lock wasn't easy to pick, but I still felt uneasy. I quickly got up, turned on all the lights, grabbed the bat, and opened the door as much as the chain allowed. My heart was pounding. I was ready for anything behind the door. Burglars, teenagers with a dare. I was even ready to encounter Christmas ghosts. I really was prepared, but not for emptiness and silence. No mysterious intruder, no holiday ghost, just an empty corridor, tightening my nerves. And then, I saw the doorknob jiggling at the neighbor's door across from mine. I was about to sigh in relief, but no one came out. And then the next neighbor's doorknob started to turn. That scared me even more. I closed the door and didn't open it for the rest of the night. It was strange and therefore scary. The doorknob couldn't turn by itself. Someone had to be doing it. Yet, there was no one, and no sound of footsteps. I left the lights on that night and couldn't sleep. I kept hearing creaks and noises everywhere. I recalled all the scary stories I had ever heard, especially about the boundary between the world of the dead and the living blurring during Christmas, with spirits becoming stronger and seeking those who've been naughty. Not that I was naughty, but I certainly wasn't nice. My heart raced from the uncertainty, and I just sat on my couch the whole night, panicking. In the morning, I opened all the curtains, and everything that happened to me that night seemed like a figment of my imagination. I had wound myself up because of feeling guilty about lying to my parents. Once I calmed down, brewed some coffee to shake off the sleepless night, I decided today I would go to them. I would survive my imperfections, but I didn't need another night like that. I quickly finished the leftover pizza, drank the coffee, tossed some things into a backpack, got dressed, and left my apartment. As I was closing the door, Mike from the apartment across the hall was coming out. We sometimes watch matches together. He greeted me first and wished me Merry Christmas. We chatted briefly about this and that, and as I was about to say goodbye, he suddenly asked, "Did you hear anything strange last night?" I quickly replied, "Like what?" He said, "Well, our doorknob was acting weirdly at night. I went out to check, but there was no one." And that's when a wave of panic hit me again. He said something more, but I didn't really register it. We exchanged hasty goodbyes, and I headed to my car. As I drove to my parents', I wondered who or what could be trying to get into my apartment.